the same thing with the Meraglim. That the Moshe Rabbeinu told the Meraglim to do this and this, and they changed the order. They changed the order of what they were supposed to do. He said, go up and find out the best way to get there.
Right.
So they changed the order, and they said, well, before they got to that, they were telling already that the fruits were giant.
In light of the fact that it's almost Yom Kippur, and here we're saying all this Lashon Hara on Kivichol, on Adam Arishon or Chava, I'd like to remind everyone that there is another opinion that since we're allowed to taste food on Erev Shabbos from Shabbos, there's an opinion that when Adam said to Chava that's okay to taste from the fruit and this whole thing began, it was because Shabbos was going to be like Yom Shekulo Shabbos, and he thought it was perfectly okay to taste on Erev Shabbos.
Interesting. Okay, let's do the Mishnah. It says, Amalai. Let's say the Shliach said, the Mishaleach says, the new Mishnah, Havli Menachem, bring me from the window. What's he bringing? Maybe more meat or something. And it turns out that it was hektish. Obviously, that's our issue. Ayminad luskama, or he says, or bring me from the luskama is some sort of satchel.
Some sort of
satchel, a little bag.
Oh, okay.
How do they translate?
Chest.
A chest.
Here's a picture of it.
Okay, excellent.
It's a box.
The gluskas are where they kept the gluskas.
Get those cookies and
The Eily, and he brings it to him. Afal pi shamer balabayis lehe belibi elam yizeh, behavi mizeh, balabayis mal.
So there are two things on the window. One was hektish and one wasn't. Is that it?
Well, that could be. Here we're discussing more the
change of location.
He gave him an option of what to bring from, and there were and
the wrong bag.
And he did what he was told, but the Balabas says that's not what I meant. He did exactly. The shliach was 100% correct, but the Balabas then says that's not what I meant because I meant from the other one.
And he brought the right item, just from the wrong location.
It was the right item. Yeah, and it turns out it was hektish.
Right.
Okay. But let's say he would say, bring me from the window. And the shliach brought from the chest. The balabaya said, the messenger, the sender says, bring me from the chest. And the shliach brings from the window. So hashliach mal. The shliach does the me'ilah because he changed from what the balabaya said. Yeah, here's the question. Shalach biad cher shayte v'katan. This is a very interesting piece. Usually we say that a cherish, a deaf mute, a shayte or a katan, there's no shlichus. Can't be a shliach. So let's say he says, he sends a pruta of hektish, or he sends with a cherish shayte v'katan, and to buy something or whatever. Imasa shlichusay balabayas mal. It goes back to as if they're shluchim, and it goes back to the mishaleach. Lo yasa shlichusay, but let's say they don't do it correctly, which you can imagine. So chenveni mal. Then the chenveni, the storekeeper, does the meila. Why is the chenveni does the meila? Because the balabayas didn't do it, because he sent it with them. They don't have any meila because they're chereshay to v'katan. So who gets the me'ilah? It goes to the chenveni. Shalach biad pikeach. Let's say he sends with a smart person. Pikeach just means a regular person. Not in contrast to chereshay to v'katan. V'nizkar ad shlei yigeh tel chenveni. And then he remembers, that was hektish. And the guy has already left. There's no cell phones. And so he has a problem here.
The the interpretation there, and the note is different. He said, lower social Chenvani Mo, the last one was that the Chenvani had Mila. But the note here says the household is not liable for Mila because his agent did not act, and the agent was not liable for Mila. Thus, when the measure was transferred, storekeeper says, thus, when the money was transferred to the storekeeper, nobody committed Me'ila. And accordingly,
Right.
But I thought it says here the Chenvani Mo.
What it means is, when the Chenvani then goes and uses it, he gets the Me'ila. The Chenvani Mal only after, in that original transfer, there's no Me'ila yet. Yeah, the Me'ila is going to take place when the Chenvani uses it.
Okay, thank you.
So, before it reaches here, he sent it with a regular person, and if the guy would do his shlichus, the Mishaleach would get the Me'ila. The interesting thing here is the guy is doing his shlichus, but the sender is not going to get the Me'ila. Why? Because he remembers that it was hektish, and Me'ila is only b'shaygig, so it can't be Me'ila. So Chenvani mal l'kashiyotzi. The Chenvani is going to get Me'ila when he spends it. Ketzad yasa. So what should the owner do? Can't get the guy back. He already left. Noitel pruta Eily. He takes a pruta, a coin, or a utensil. Vaymer pruta shel hektish b'chol makom shehu mechol al zeh. He redeems it. He says wherever the money that I sent is, it should be redeemed onto this article, and then this article becomes hektish, that becomes chulin, and that way the chenvani is saved from meila. That's cool. Shektish nifta b'kasav b'shav b'kasav, because you can redeem hektish with actual money or with an article that has value. The Gemara says, "My kamash malan." We're going back to the first case. The first case, he says, take from the window or from a chest, and the Balabaya says, that's not what I meant. I meant the other chest, the other window. So we said that the Balabaya is small. So what's the chiddush here? What's the dalid? The chiddush is the dvarim shabalei vein dvarim. He did exactly what he was told. Balabaya says that's not what he meant. That doesn't matter. That's not what you meant. It is what you said. You follow? The lawyers. So whatever. That's what the contract was. You can say all your spinning around like this or like that, but it's
not spinning.
Say no. I meant something else, right?
It's interesting that when he transfers the kedusha to the pruta, he's not trying to save himself. He's trying to save the storekeeper from doing it. Right, which is interesting. He sends it in the hands of a cher shayta v'katan. It's very interesting. If they do it correctly, the me'ila goes back to the owner, to the sender. Gemara asks the obvious question: but they're not b'nei shlichus. How could they be a shliach? They're not suited to be a shliach. Amar Rabbi Lazar, asum kematin shel zeisim. We're making it like the basket of the olives. The Tanan, we'll see there's two stages to the olives, and we know that fruits, in order to become a kabel tumah, they need to get wet, and they need to get wet in a way that the moisture is appreciated. That you wanted it to get wet. If you didn't want it to get wet, it doesn't help. So there's two levels here. It says when the olives become susceptible to tumah, not when they're on the tree, when they're off the tree, and mishiaziu zeyas hamatan, when they start to sweat, the sweat of the matan, which is the basket that's right next to the press, but not when it sweats in the kupa. Kupa is a basket, I think, that's used to transfer from one location to another. They don't want it. They want it to get hotter and softer, and it starts to get ready to be pressed. But if that's going to happen at earlier stages, then it's going to, during transport, then it maybe will go bad or something. I don't know. So they want it to happen later. So when it happens later, even though no one's doing it, but
But nevertheless, the fact is it's happening. So here also, even though they're not considered a shliach, but the fact is it's happening. And it's happening what the owner wanted. Sounds like it's not a din in shlichus. Rabbi Yochanan says it's similar. He gives another answer, similar to what it was taught. Nasnu al gabi akoif vaylichai al pil vaylichai. This is talking about if someone needs to put an eruv in order for him to walk outside the city. So the eruv needs to reach a certain location. So he puts it on top of a monkey or on top of an elephant, and when it gets to that location, he has someone remove it from the elephant, and then it's over there. So harei eruv, it's good, even though a monkey is not a shliach and the elephant isn't a shliach. Al makav the shlichusay. You see that the shlichus works. Achanam yasavet shlichusay. You see, so here also the shlichus works. This would, I can see people quoting this in Chabad shlichus. Even though this, at least I'm like an elephant. Okay.
Monkey could have done your job.
What they'd want to say is a monkey or an elephant from the Rebbe is already something.
Have we learned a scriptural source for the basis of changing all these general rules just in the case of Meilah?
The only source that we had was Chet Mishuma, which we learned on Shabbos.
So all these are Derabanan?
I think it's Deraisa.
It's a derisa from that one plus.
Yeah. It's Gzeir Shava. Shliach Shasa Shlichusay. Problem over here in this Gemara is that we're coming up with these obscure cases when even if it rained, it would have been good. Why is it using shlichus? Those examples, getting wet, has nothing to do with shlichus. Even if it rained on it and you're happy about it, so that's also, and we're claiming that it's shlichus. It has no connection to shliach. It's like a funny thing. I don't know what the notes are saying, but okay. Let's get to the Mishnah. Shalach bi'ad pikeach. If he sends it with the pikeach, and then who knows that it's hektish? The sender knows that it's hektish. That's why the sender's not going to violate he's not going to have the dinim of Meilah because he knows about it. And Meilah is only b'shegeg. The Gemara asks, 1 second. We said that the chenveni gets the Meilah. But we missed one step. There's the Mishaleach, there's the Shliach, and the chenveni. The Mishaleach sends the Shliach. The Mishaleach doesn't have the dinim of Meilah because he remembers that it's hektish. So we said, okay, now the chenveni gets it. 1 second. But the shliach doesn't know. Why doesn't the shliach get the Meilah? V'raminu niska balabais niska shliach. If the balabais remembers and the shliach doesn't remember, hashliach mal. Amar Rav Sheishes says masnisim kishniskru shneim. We didn't mention it, but that's the case of our Mishnah when they both remembered, and so therefore the transfers to the chenveni. Okay, so tomorrow we'll finish. We'll finish the Masechta B'ezras Hashem.
Yeah.